everybody, this is the Vikstrand. So, let's say that you have a story about a man who discovers that he had a twin brother separated at birth, and that the same twin brother now has died, and that he assumes the identity of the said twin brother to try to find out more about his life, maybe about himself, and find out why he died and what secrets he took to the grave and stuff like that, and learning more about himself and also about, his twin brother in the same process. Now, would you say that Jean-Claude Van Damme is the best person, an actor, to emote such a story? The answer is no. No, it isn't. However, I will say that this is one of the slightly better Jean-Claude Van Damme movies that I've seen. Is it perfect? No. Is Ringo Lam really, the best director to tackle such a story? Nope. But I will say this is quite a decent little action movie we have for ourselves today. Let's find out what's good and what's bad about it. This is Maximum Risk. This movie begins with Jean-Claude Van Damme being chased through, I think it is supposed to be Nice in southern France. He's being chased by this Eli Coates cosplayer and this rather dumpy motherfucker with a mustache, and it's very spectacular. It has some really intense sequences to itself, but it ends in a rather odd way because Jean-Claude Van Damme dies. But it turns out there is another Jean-Claude Van Damme lurking around here in southern parts of Nice. He's a police officer who discovers that he had a twin brother who has died under, mysterious circumstances. He, confronts his mother, who tells, the story that she did have, twins, but she couldn't keep both of them, and she adopted one away, and, they went to America. And then he, goes to the lawyer who handled, the adoption case. But the office is in flames, and, people has been murdered and stuff like that, and some hulking blonde evil motherfucker is lurking around there and tries to kill Van Damme, and he decides then that he's going to go to New York City and assume the identity of his dead twin brother to try to find answers. While in New York City, he tries to find out what exactly his brother did for the Russian mafia who apparently he was working for. He also tries to find out why the FBI is hot on their tails and trying to see what they're up to. He also gets paired up with his dead twin's old flame, which is also, the girlfriend of one of the top bosses within the Russian mafia, which I assume is a good way of getting yourself into, problems and stuff like that. The thing is that they don't know who to trust, and they don't know what Mikhail, that is the, dead twin, took with him to the grave. They don't know what secrets he, was harboring and what he actually was doing. Acting wise, this is probably one of Jean-Claude Van Damme's best performances as an actor, and the story is actually kind of interesting and is actually the strongest part of the movie because you're experiencing him trying to relive another man's life. Now, this isn't the first time that they've dabbled in, double Jean-Claude Van Damme for a movie. Double Impact was a pretty damn good movie. This movie has a bunch of pretty decent action sequences. This movie has a bunch of pretty decent car chases and fighting sequences, but it isn't on the level of what we had seen with Jean-Claude Van Damme before this, or after it actually. Double Team, even the silly movie Knockoff actually had better action sequences than this one. And before this, I would actually say that both Double Impact and Time Cop had better action sequences than this one. And let's not go into how fucking awesome Hard Target was. By the way, Jean-Claude Van Damme's love interest in this movie is played by Natasha Henstridge. The name is pretty forgotten today, but in the mid to late 90s, she was one of the big hot prospects in Hollywood, and Species was a big hit coming out, and she was a very attractive woman who wasn't shy enough to show her lady boobs and things like that, and that's, thumbs up for me. But she wasn't a very good actress, and while she has decent enough chemistry with Jean-Claude Van Damme, she doesn't really bring that much to the table except for eye candy. Now, the story is actually the best part of the movie. The action sequences are actually the least great part of this movie. which is weird considering that Ringo Lam, who directed this movie, he was hailed as one of these visionary Hong Kong action directors who were coming into America to make a bunch of really decent movies, to be honest. The movie ends in lukewarm fashion when they come back to southern France to, you know, with a final confrontation with the actual bad guys that you can probably see coming a mile away. The thing is that I think that should have been the starting point of the movie, not the end of the movie. It felt like this was the, you know, natural jumping off, you know, platform for the movie with the, you know, the box and the secrets and the tapes and all that things, but they decided to do this instead. Now, if you've seen a lot of, you know, Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, this is not going to be the worst thing you've ever seen or the best thing you've ever seen. It's going to be a middle-of-the-road Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, probably having a better story and a better script than what is usually, you know, the standard Jean-Claude Van Damme fare. And as I said, Jean-Claude Van Damme is better in this movie than he is in his usual, you know, movies. So if you have never seen this one and really like Jean-Claude Van Damme, I would really recommend this one. If you have already seen it, I would not recommend you to rewatch it, because it will be as good or as bad as you remembered it to be. Nothing more, nothing less. The pace is decent, some of the action sequences in this movie is quite okay, but there is nothing really sticking out. You don't get to see Jean-Claude Van Damme do his really cool things. It's just a bit, yeah, this movie happened, and then you move on with your life. Is it bad? No. Is it fantastic? No. It's way in the middle, you could say. Maximum Risk gets 55 points. It is a good, if not great, action movie. It is a good, but not fantastic Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. If you like Jean-Claude Van Damme, you will probably like this movie. I think that, you know, the things with the Russian mafia and then navigating, you know, the different, you know, structures and stuff like that, and trying to figure out who they're going to trust and stuff like that was interesting, and the final conclusion of the movie was very satisfying, but the rest of the movie was quite decent. Nothing spectacular, nothing fantastic, but quite okay. So I'll see you next time for, well, so instead of reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.